And we are back. Moving on to round number 4. Hopefully everyone's doing good, feeling good as we do get ready to move on in. Guys, I hope y'all are locked in as ready as I am, because it's been a day. We've had a bunch of sweeps on the broadcast here thus far. But you know what? I have a feeling that we got ourselves a game number 3 just off on the horizon here. As we move forward, LCI Samurai Gold versus SHS Spartan Spear. Pepper, you ready?
Absolutely, I'm ready. I'm hoping we can get some closer games here, you know, something a little bit more exciting to watch. Maybe the last game was a little bit unfortunate to see. It was as one-sided as it was, but you know, that's what happens when you have such an open bracket and so many different teams of varying skill levels. Sometimes you're going to have games like that where it's just 2-0 and it just really sucks. But, you know, all you can do is wait for later in the bracket.
Yeah, we were actually talking about it a little bit on the break. We've got 3 pools going on right now across play. All 3 pools are filled with nothing but 2-0s. Sometimes that is just the way the cookie crumbles, which makes things interesting going into this next series, because LCI Samurai Gold currently 2-0 in their series, 4-0 on the day. They're looking pretty good for playoffs. It's just about where they fall in the seeding. SHS Spartan Spear, on the other hand, well, they've got a lot to contend for here. They're 1-2. This is their last series on the day. If they're going to want a chance for that 3rd spot, or maybe even a top 2 might be still attainable, but they would definitely need to win in a sweeping fashion here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if they're able to take this in a sweeping fashion, I think they definitely can look forward to some high placements in that playoff bracket and be able to get through there. But I think this is definitely where it starts for them.
Let's see as we get ready to take to the pitch, DHS Stadium, for a little bit more action. Remember, we're going to be sticking on board still best of 3s, the way that we have throughout the course of things here. Well, we will be getting into those best of 5s here a little bit later on the day. I believe the entirety of our playoff bracket. Yeah, the entirety of our playoff bracket, as well as that U15 Grand Finals match, will be those best of 5s. But let's go ahead and get into it and get to game number 1, Samurai Gold versus Spartan Spear.
Yeah, it'll be real exciting to see here. It's already some incredibly fast gameplay from both teams here. Shots coming in onto Samurai's net there, or sorry, Spartan Spear's net there. Keeping the pressure up. Goal gonna go in already. 20 seconds into the game here. Samurai Gold keeping up the pressure.
A lot of early pressure here for Samurai Gold. Mirga will be the first one to strike gold. Okay, I didn't mean that one, but now I might have to try and see if we can reiterate that one again later on. And it will be Samurai with the first gold.
Yeah, very, very fast gameplay at the beginning, keeping Spartan Spear on their toes. Let's see if they can come back with a attack of their own here.
Thus far, it has felt like a little bit faster pace over on that blue half of the pitch. If anything, as far as for Spartan Spear, I feel like you're going to have to really lock in and focus on those counter attacks, because with those faster gameplays, when you have a team like this Samurai Gold who seems to like to press forward, sometimes that third back will get caught just a little too far forward. Is it the case there as a top? We'll be able to push that one in for the net.
Yeah, and I think that's what Spartan Spear is going to have to try and take advantage of here is Samurai Gold just pushes too far forward here. If they'd managed to get a contest on that, there's a chance they could have turned that into a goal even with how far forward they were.
That's 3 goals in the opening minute of play. Talk about turning up the heat here to get things started. This time it's a top working as the enabler. Finds Cheetah. That's a goal for everybody on that Samurai side.
Yeah, and I mean, it just goes to show their cohesive team play there. Everybody getting a touch on the ball, passing to each other. And honestly, it's showing in their gameplay, being up 3-0 already with 4 minutes about still to go.
Still definitely have time here if you are Spartan Spear, but with the pace that they seem to be playing over on that blue half, I don't know how much more you have of it. Whether that fake was intended or not, it did exactly what you were hoping for. It got the defense to bite, unable to find a connection, and that ball just ends up slow rolling across the goal line.
Yeah, and it looks like the pace here from Samurai Gold is just keeping Spartan Spear on their back foot here, not able to find an opening against them. And their constant attack here.
Cheetah pass over to Mirga, who pops on up and has space for days, looking for the double tap. It ends up being a pass back towards Cheetah, who I don't think was quite expecting that one. It's a double commit towards that boost. I thought maybe for a moment it's going to allow Spartan Spear to flip the pitch, but the pressure just too much around the midfield line. The Samurai Gold squad has Spartan Spear trapped in their half.
Yeah, Spartan Spear looking a little bit low on the boost here, heading back on the attack. Not going to be able to quite make a shot on net there. And forced back into the defense here by Samurai Gold yet again.
Tough situation to find yourself in. Surely would like to be able to at least establish a little bit of control, because thus far through the first 2 minutes of play, we've spent pretty well 2/3 of the game down on that orange half. Samurai Gold has gotten pretty darn close to 70% of the ball possession as well. And whenever you see that number of ball possession move past 60 and even into the mid to high 60s, it's really hard to fight back from that if you're in a position like Spartan Spear here.
Yeah, and I was just about to talk about shots here. Spartan Spear has not been able to put up a single shot here on Samurai Gold. Meanwhile, Samurai Gold now has, what, a 67-ish% shot efficiency here. So they're putting up their shots pretty effectively when they are going for one.
Whenever you are able to shoot at that decent of a clip, the way that Samurai Gold is, it starts to build on the nerves of a team like Spartan Spear, because it's not just about keeping the ball away from them, because you know they will eventually be able to. It's about trying to put yourself into the perfect position, which becomes so frustrating whenever you see a 4th and 5th, sometimes a 6th gold ad. So right now, with the final 2 minutes left in game number 1, it's just about locking things in. It's felt like they've at least slowed the offense down a little bit, but every time Samurai Gold is able to have these prolonged possessions down in the orange half, they're finding gold almost every time.
Yeah, they're doing a fantastic job of getting the rotations in and out. I almost see them never run out of boost on this offensive half. And honestly, I think that's what's giving them all these goals, is their boost control.
Cheetah looking for the shot. Will be Applansu will be able to find the save. Looks to go the other way. Hold on, that's a nice little second touch to advance the ball forward, but Cheetah hits the kablamo onto 1T. And also able to find a second demo here is the teammate. So that will slow down the approach from Samurai Spear, as now Cheetah looks to gather things up, but can't keep the handle on it. It's 85 seconds, and while maybe 6 goals not attainable here from Spartan Spear, would love to be able to see them at least pick up themselves one.
Yeah, if they could at least get a goal or two in the end of this game here, it definitely sets the ground for them to be able to compete into the next here and be able to give us a 3rd game, hopefully, in the series.
Still time to turn things around, but the time has to be now. You start to make the adjustments towards the end of game number 1. Game number 2, you just put the blinders on. You take it possession by possession. But you had mentioned early on the shot discrepancy, and while maybe Samurai Gold has let off the gas a little bit, hasn't continued to pile on their shots, they have hit double digits. Meanwhile, Spartan Spear is still looking for that first shot to be recorded after almost 4.5 minutes of play. That does have to be somewhat frustrating, especially as I thought was about to be seeing a 7th goal scored. Maybe they'll find it here as a top. No, that one goes wide, and Mirga's, I think, also goes high.
Oh, that's a nice shot there from Mirga to put a 7th on the scoreboard for Samurai Gold. Nice little double tag.
30 seconds left. Just going to be a victory lap for the final 26 seconds here for Samurai Gold. They came in, they had a goal, and they accomplished it here to start things off. You were able to not only come out and win, but win in quite convincing fashion. Blentz will at least try and send themselves forward. We talked about the opportunity to find themselves a goal. Can't do it there. And yeah, also seeing that good sportsmanship here as well from Samurai Gold. They said, you know what, we'll just burn these last couple of seconds. We don't need to run things up. We'll let this ball touch down as we get ready for game number 2.
Yeah, I think, honestly, again, quite a stomp there, but just the pace from both teams much faster than the last game that we had watched. I think Spartan Spear just needs to take this time in between games to get a little mental reset here and just move into the next one with everything that they have. I do think they have a chance to contest, especially against Samurai Gold here. They They just have to find it in themselves.
The good news is in bracket 1, at least, I think it's the top 4 seeds that do advance based off of seeding. So if you are Spartan Spear, right now you do currently sit in that 4th spot. And I don't know if you're going to surrender that, but you are playing against one of the better teams from across any of the groups. So kind of similarly, when we think back on broadcast here, Pepper, we were talking about for the Vimy Valkyries when they were playing against the 2-time champions, right? Yeah, it might feel like you're hitting to the pitch and kind of expecting the results to go the way that it is, but it's a chance for you to lock in and test your mettle at least before you do head off to the playoffs, where maybe they'll be playing as a team that they feel like they match up a little bit better with.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, being able to play against teams that are better than you is the best way to improve. If you want to become a better player, you have to play against the best, or at least those who are better than you. And that's the only way to really learn what you can do better.
Go ahead and get down to it here. Got our players back out on the pitch. It's time for game number 2. Is there a game 5 on the horizon? Only time will tell. Let's go ahead and get down to it, Pepper.
Oh yeah, we got both teams going in for a heavy contest on the face-off here. However, you're going to see Samurai Gold come out on top, go for a play, and be able to make a goal here. Cheetah with fantastic passing between Samurai Gold.
Honestly, teamwork makes the dream work. It doesn't feel like there's any one player that this Samurai Gold squad relies on. It really does feel like it's a next man up sort of scenario. Their rotations are always good. You'll generally catch a different player back into that deep third. Maybe if anything, almost feels like Atav sends the most time back there, but even still, it feels like it's a very strong rotation of a trio here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, even looking back to the previous game, their shot score was almost identical on all of their players, showing that all of them can operate in terms of being a shooter or passing, and they're playing those rotations incredibly solid.
Tries to keep it inside the orange half. 50 lost though, and does spend it down to the blue side. Miurga though lying right there and wait off of the hood, pops it up. Atav now looking for a pass there. Always looking for some spicy meatball play there. I would have loved to see how that thing dialed in. Still pressure forward. Cheetah to Atav, and Samurai Gold go up by 2.
Yeah, at this point, it just looks like Samurai Gold's just trying things here, seeing what they can do. Setting themselves up for potentially future games against teams that are going to bring them to more games.
Gold looking solid here off kickoff, and you're able to step forward. You take the big pad away from the opposition. The other one takes a nice shot, and while that's going to allow for them to keep sustained pressure down here for a while, as Miurga takes off to the sky, has Cheetah left in the middle off of the backboard, but Cheetah just pressed a little too far forward.
Yeah, trying to get the defense here. Looks like they're scrambling. All of the boost pads are being taken up here by Samurai Gold. And they're not able to get a chance, Spartan Spear here, to be able to go on the offensive with their boost totals.
Put it on a highlight reel. Murder rises up to the sky, and no one able to meet with any sort of pressure. Instead, just gets fancy with it and finds a third for Samurai Gold.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at these teams, I mean, Samurai Gold's got 2 season 19 grand champions on their team, and they're clearly showing that in the types of shots that they're going for. These are some very technical shots that they're going for.
Yeah, I feel like the eye test probably tells me that this was, early looks at probably the biggest opposition for the 2-time champions that we had seen on stream earlier from the Marauders here for Samurai Gold, another team that comes with a lot of experience, a lot of talent on their roster as well. Which again, just more reiterates the point for Spartan Spear. I know it sometimes gets tough out there when you feel like you just don't have the answers. But when you realize who you're playing against, you have to give yourself the credit for the things that you are able to pull off, you know?
Exactly. And seeing like what you can do versus a team like this is really the biggest takeaways when you're looking at, like, say, VOD review or just anything about your matches. Being able to see what you can do and take that and build on that is what allows you to become just as strong a team as we're seeing from Samurai Gold.
Oh, Beer's got Cheetah there, and that's going to be a beautiful pass. We're not even at halftime, and it's 5-0 as Samurai Gold continue to keep the pedal down. And I think importantly for them, you practice how you play. Ain't no sense in letting off just because you're up 5.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you keep up the pace for how you play, like that discipline is what really will determine a champion team versus a simple contender.
Still more pressure for him here, just high in the sky. You looking to put that one on for yourself? No, I think was looking to maybe potentially leave it off for a Tov. Be off the sidewall, still keeping the possession forward here for Samurai Gold. Cheetah looks to fire this one in from the top of the key, but Orc Gutter will do a great job of winning the 50 and at least allows for the Spartan Spear defense to reset just a little bit.
Yeah, and looking at the position of Spartan Spear here, really just trying to get this ball out of their half, trying to keep their boost high and maybe go on the offensive, but the Samurai Gold here, they're just keeping this ball up in the air.
They're keeping the ball in the air. They're doing a great job. You'll notice on their rotations in of usually swooping up a lot of boost pads, whether it's the small guys or even sneaking into the corner and getting those big pads, which leaves less at the disposal for the Spartan Spear squad to be able to rise up and meet with that resistance. That's part of the reason we've seen multiple times where it's Samurai Gold sending 2, 3 high in the sky. They haven't been met with much resistance, and Spartan Spear feels like their wings have been clipped. It's not because they're not comfortable getting in the sky, it's just because they don't have enough gas to get up there.
Yeah, exactly. I think they need to utilize those small boost pads like you had said here, because those are quite a good way when you're playing against a team as brutal as this to get those boost totals up, since they keep taking all the big pads from you.
On T, can you find the clear off of a second touch? No, but you've at least sent it outside of the box. It allows for a little bit of a reset here. Here's Orc Gutter, second touch, moving forward for 1T, looking to put it over 2. Got it past Cheetah at least, but Mirga will be able to rise up and prevents the goal as we now have 72 seconds left. And while maybe not flying at the same speed here for Samurai Gold, they are still definitely doing a great job of keeping Spartan Spear pushed back in their own half.
Yeah, definitely. Like we've been saying, it's been a struggle for Spartan Spear here to be able to keep the ball over on the opposite half here and go on the offensive. They've just been defending the whole time, unfortunately.
17 shots. That's what they've been able to compile thus far through 4 minutes and 7 seconds. But I think the more impressive thing for a Samurai Gold squad, which when you look at them, you mentioned you have players with those season 19 grand champion titles. Yeah, they are mechanically really talented, but they're not just relying on those mechanical skills where they could probably be going 1, 2, or 3 even. They're still keeping the ball movement. Of the 7 goals that they've been able to find here in game number 2, 6 of them have been assisted.
Yeah, and those assists and that team play is what's really going to make the difference, because, yeah, like you said, you have these super mechanically talented players, but at the end of the day, if you can't play as a cohesive unit, it doesn't matter if you have that talent or the individual play, because that all falls apart on the pitch.
Last 15 seconds basically become a victory lap. We get to have one more chance out on the pitch for these teams, wrapping things up as they're getting ready to move forward with the rest of play here. We had mentioned as far as for group stages, starting to wind down for a couple of our teams. And for Spartan Spear, they will wrap things up in that 4th spot. I do believe they are comfortable in that 4th. I mean, I guess technically STP Celtics still could pull off some miracles, but that is our other 15U squad. So they are going to have quite their hands full in their last round if they were to overtake SHS Spartan. But more than likely not the last time the last time both of these teams will be taken to the pitch, but at least for Samurai Gold, they're able to keep their undefeated streak alive on the day.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at the gameplay, I'm super excited to see what they can do in this playoffs bracket. Absolutely incredible team play, and the individual mechanical talent of them is honestly incredible. Some of the shots they were going for and attempting in those games, those are incredibly difficult shots to make or to even try to attempt. I've been there, I've tried it. It's not easy at all. So I want to shine some light on like the individual talent of players too. Like, this is an incredible thing that they're able to do on the pitch.
Is indeed. Well, as I'm looking through as far as the results as we continue moving forward, we're going to be hanging on board in bracket number 1 for our last group stage series of the day. That will be STP Celtics versus Mel's Voyagers. And us, along with Spartan Spear, I would imagine, we'll be watching that game very intently here on stream on the other side of break. So don't go nowhere. We'll be back after this.